Welcome back to Cultural Conversations. I'm Olaoluwadada.
And my name is Queen Muriel.
And this week we are talking about the illusion of options. So this one has been a long time coming. It's a good follow-on from the previous episode, which if you have not watched, please go back.
Please go back and watch it. Like, why would you miss that? Like,
it's either going to be here, or here.
It's going to be somewhere on this video.
Please make sure you
go back and watch it. And if you're seeing this from Instagram, just click the link in the bio. You'll find it. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a good follow-on from our previous episode where we were talking about powerful women and how some men struggle approaching powerful women. Yeah. So this week we're talking about the illusion of options.
Maybe we should tell them what that is. Maybe they don't know what that means. Okay, let me help.
Okay.
Okay, so the illusion of options is when they say, she has a very good quote for it, like I told you, this woman and language. She said it's too much market, maybe you should say too much market research or something.
Yeah, so it happens because there's a prolonged state of market research. What is market research? You know, the whole getting to know each other stage where you're just talking.
And you keep talking.
For 6 to 9.
And you keep talking.
2 years. 6 to 9 months, 2 years, you know, talking for 5 years.
And you keep doing this because you have the illusion that, I have options. There are many women that love me. There are many men that love me. And I have all of these options. So I don't have to, narrow it down and get something started or decide what it is I'm going to do because I have the illusion that I have options.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I think that a lot of the time what causes this is, people not wanting to make the mistakes that our parents made or people in our lives that we've watched suffer from love, endure suffer love. And now they're having to come out of these really not so pleasant situations. So people are, they're like, let me hold the pulse on that. Let's pause or let's take this really slow. There's nothing wrong with taking your time, but there is a pace that should take place in the talking market research stage, and it should be intentional. And the moment it stops being intentional, you guys need to lock off. I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, if it's no longer intentional, but we're going to take you through a couple of different stages.
We've got some tips.
Yeah, and we're also going to be talking about, let me start with this, right? It's very important to understand that when you don't make a choice, you're making a choice not to make a choice.
Tweet that.
You understand? Because what happens is you think you have options, so you're not really making a choice, but the choice that you are making is to stay in limbo and to keep your life roaming in cycles instead of making a decision that can now change your life, because time waits on no one. The Bible is so good. The Bible says that, teach me how to number my days. There's a reason why David is praying, or the psalmist is praying, teach me to number my days. So with the time that God gives you, you don't want to stay in market research for 9 months or for a year. Like, come on.
But let's actually unpack that. Why do you think, and if you've been there, why have you stayed in a prolonged stage?
I have not been there. Let's make it clear. Okay, thanks. But
I have. But why do you think people take their time to get to know someone, but maybe at a very, 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 very snail pace, rather than actually having momentum and doing things with a timeliness?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go psychological here for a quick minute. What causes hesitancy is fear.
Oh, I knew she was going there. I'm excited.
Right? So when you are hesitant to do something, sometimes, not all the time, it's not a generalization. Most times it's a memory that you have, or a disappointment you have made, or second, how do we call it? When your friend has been offended. Secondary offense.
Thank you.
So secondary
trauma.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you may not have been traumatized, but you've seen so many different things. You're like, whoop, hold up. I'm going to be here for this long because of what I have seen. And it's very important that when you're going, because remember, series 1 is about all the ships. It's very important that when you're going into any relationship, you don't give somebody extra work to break down your walls that you built up because of previous relationships that you were in.
Yes.
So now they have to do more work to get to your heart because you're quote unquote indirectly punishing them for your past.
Yes.
So it's better for you to heal so that you can show up in a way that you're ready for whatever maturity level that they are bringing to the table.
Yeah, and I think that oftentimes people, if we go back to that first statement you said about, delayed decision making, people spend a lot of time trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, and actually some people don't need the benefit of the doubt.
No, they don't.
They are telling you and showing you exactly who they are, exactly how they do life, exactly how they live, and sometimes you just need to take that and run with it.
And
as Oprah would say, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah. And I want to highlight what she's saying here is somebody's patterns will tell you who they are, not their words. And sometimes not even, the pattern is a combination of their words and their actions. Do you understand? So if I can tell you some people that I know that I followed their patterns for so long, I can tell you exactly what they're going to do. Not because they may not wake up and do something different, but their pattern has told me this is how this person operates when it comes to this. This is how they operate when it comes to that. And that's why people get frustrated with themselves a lot because they say, oh, I'm going to wake up and go to the gym. I'm going to do this. And then they wake up and they don't do anything. And they think, what is wrong with me? And it's because you have trained your brain again. You have no new neural pathways for what you say you're going to go do. So you follow the default pattern that you have been following your whole life. Yeah. So you really have to follow people's patterns to know who they really are. If, for example, a guy is accustomed of speaking to 60 women, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm a therapist, it's not crazy. I know. So if a guy is accustomed of I'm gonna go as far as saying some men make log sheets, right? Excel spreads, of 60 women names, the countries they live in, when they fly them in, and some of them have assistants that run these Excel sheets. Do you understand? So it goes that deep.
It's a whole operation.
It's an operation. It's a cartel. And when people go that length to have a pattern, honey, baby girl, you will not change that man. The only man you can change is a man in a diaper. You hear me? Sorry, I had to be my grandmother for a minute. But pretty much, back on scope.
No, but I totally hear that. And I think that a lot of the time, what's fueling this is maybe benefits that him or her may be gaining that they shouldn't actually have access to. When you study things like soul ties and connections, you realize that those things are formed over a duration of time with proximity and the sharing of information, not to, also sharing fluids for some people. So there's a lot that transpires to how to now build this connectivity, this connection that you have with this person, and all of a sudden you find that you can't get away from them, or you can't distance yourself, and that is literally because the space in your life where a person should come has been occupied. Either by multiple people or by the person that you have the strongest connection with.
But also, the benefit can also be, because I'm not fully committed to you, I have less responsibility.
Yes. And accountability.
Less responsibility and accountability to focus on what I think I really need to be focusing on. And what you can just do is be honest. I don't really want to focus real deep on this, or building a relationship or friendship, or those are the healthy shapes. But on building that, I actually want to focus on building this at the moment, and I'm not in the headspace for this, even though I think that this might be a good thing. And that's usually men, because men are literally, you can't win a battle with a man over his work, because they are married to work first.
This is men and work.
Yeah, it's biblical. It's men are wired.
Men and work.
They are wired that way. So when women are wired to want conversation, to want to be held, to want affection, men literally need 3 things. I'm not going to mention them now, but men really need 3 things.
I mean, yes, and to be honest, I think that a lot of guys fit into that category, but then you also have a increase or a rise of women who are also married to work in a similar sort of way.
Yeah, but they learn to be married to work in that way because they had to get fulfillment from something else, because their femininity, the femininity that they have was not received. So now they had to go out and be what he said in his, Facebook post we talk about in episode 1, a boss chick.
Yeah.
A boss, rebellious chick. Because look, men are not going to fill my needs. Forget about men. Like the young lady we were talking about, we were talking to 2 weeks ago.
And we hear this a lot.
Yeah. She was like, forget about men. I never want to see men again. I'm going to focus on my money. I'm going to focus on my degrees. And I'm going to focus. And it's like, that is not you talking. That's your hurt talking. That's your experience talking. And when you realize that you're not the one talking, you need to sit down with yourself. Because what you're doing is you're creating walls, right? That other people are now going to have to feel, or a man that loves you now will have to break down to finally get to your heart. And the last thing I'll say on this is practice creating gates and not walls. Because a gate determines who gets in and who gets out, and a wall means no one gets in and no one gets out, so you're also a prisoner.
So if we're practicing creating gates and not walls, and there's also a fear element maybe of premature commitment or commitment at all, or being in love, because sometimes people are afraid of the destination, so they get really addicted to the get to know stage. They live there and
unfortunately
live there, eat there, shower from there, work from there. They love the get to know stage, but the moment it starts getting really intense or there's more commitment, it's like, whoa,
I don't want nothing to do with that.
So, like, how do people come out of that? You've mentioned gates. What other things can people do to come out of this
illusion that they create? I mean, self-awareness is number one. That's always key.
Number one.
Once you're aware of where you are, and it will show you that you're not where you need to be for where you want to be. It's important for your current decisions to reflect your future destination. I think once you're aware of that, that makes a huge difference. And secondly, you have to have a strong vision. When you have a strong vision for your life, you understand that I don't actually have the time to be in a talking stage for a year and a half and then decide it's not for me. I actually want to build with somebody. I actually want to create with somebody. I actually want to travel the world or have kids or build a home or do these different things. So I need to get serious with God. So I also know how to choose quality for me.
And even off the back of that, I would say that choose the right kind of accountability. I think that a lot of us are giving our information and getting accountability from people who don't really care about what we have in mind as our goal. For a lot of us, if marriage is the goal, if a happy home is the goal, then we shouldn't be practicing these things that could actually teach us to be adulterous in nature. I'm not saying you shouldn't be out here exploring and dating people. I'm just saying that there's a certain amount of people you should be talking to at once.
Like talking to more than like 5.
It's a lot.
People be talking to 10 people at once.
It's a lot.
5, like 11.
And also think about all your energy and how tired you are. And there's actually a strategy about this, because I was having a conversation with a guy friend and we were talking about, some of the things that guys do, and he mentioned just the fact that some men will give Becky a bit of information, give Susanna a bit of information, give Kemi a bit of information, because his plan is to not give his heart to anyone. His plan is to give parts of his heart to different people, so that he doesn't have to be accountable. Okay, so I think that the thing is about accountability is this whole it's kind of like pollination with bees. They go from flower to flower to flower, and they keep a bit of their heart with this woman and keep a bit of your heart with that person, and then before you know it, you've got 7 people with parts of your heart. It's a mess.
But the reason that it happens is, you were talking about the benefit. Another benefit that they have is that because they're not committing to anybody, so that they have the illusion of all of these options, because they're not committing to anybody outright, they feel like the benefit they have is that they get to spend the time on the things that they really want to spend the times on, and not that person. So you would find with men, they would be spending this extra time on work, because men and work are like intertwined, as you said, like they're like married, like you don't fight a man's work, like they're created, wired to just want to work, which is great, you know, but I think that, you know, plays a big role. But if take a shift side, if I use myself as an example, if I'm going to say, oh, I'm passionate about mental health, and I'm passionate about, you know, women, and I'm passionate about really defeating, well, you would say defeating, but helping with poverty, and literally going into different communities and touching the 7 pillars of society, and helping them to understand that your mind is extremely important. Like if I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to focus on that, but then I'll keep, you know, leading maybe 5, 6 men on, it's only a matter of time before that drains me from being able to do what I'm called to do anyway. So it's better if you now choose somebody who will align with what you're already doing, basically.
Absolutely. I think that, especially in the dating jungle, because it's not seen anymore.
It's a jungle. I was not aware of this.
It's the wild west.
I was not aware of this, but here
it's
we
a
are.
jungle. What you see is that there's so much energy being exerted in trying to please the right or the wrong person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people pleasing, and people are moving further away from their true selves, and moving further away from like true connection, because we do dating like we do fashion, you know, really fast. Let's get through this, onto the next thing.
Woo!
And the thing is that marriage, which should be the goal of dating or getting to know, courtship, whatever you want to call it, the getting to know / boyfriend and girlfriend / engagement thing, all before you get married. I feel like the purpose of marriage is not the end destination. It's not the final stop on the bus stop. It's actually a doorway into a new realm of you, a new sphere of your life. And so it should be treated with care. It shouldn't be done recklessly. And I think that what I see a lot of is a lot of reckless behavior.
Yeah, I mean, you said it amazingly just now. You say, you know, dating is almost like fast fashion. Like, ooh, I like that. Click. Oh, I like that. Click, 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 click.
Click, click,
and
click.
The thing is, your heart does not have a condom. I've heard this saying, you know, a lot. You know, you can't protect.
I'm telling my mother.
You can't protect your heart from all of these things and experiences that you keep putting your heart through. Like your heart doesn't know I'm joking, or I have no plans of being connected with this person. Your heart thinks, based on the way the human body was wired, your heart thinks, oh, this person is good for us to be vulnerable with. It's good for us to, you know, lay low here. It's good for us to open up ourselves. And then you go on to the next person. The heart is like, oh, okay, we're doing this again. So by the time you want to now commit to somebody, your heart is confused.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very, very important to really see yourself as value. I think the more valuable you see yourself, the more you'll know that this illusion of options is just whack.
Yeah, for men and women. Because
men and women.
Yeah, I think that a lot of women, they talk about guys like they have lots of options, but then I talk to a lot of really great guys who are like, we feel like we don't have options either. Which is wild. But it's real. Like, it's interesting that what both genders are looking for, they're not finding, despite all of the work that's being put in. So I think that there definitely needs to be a separation between lust and strong desire and the non-negotiables and what is suitable for you and your calling.
Exactly.
Because it looks different for everyone. But for example, I know a lot of people who would say, if I'm talking to ladies, you ask them, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Tall, handsome brother. He's got to have a beard.
Yeah.
He needs to be like 6'2" plus. Even though she's 5'4".
All stuff they
she's
gathered.
5'4".
They gathered from movies.
You were shorty. You could be with a 5'11" guy, but you aim high. I don't have any problems.
All stuff they gathered from movies, really.
Yeah, and when you ask them further questions, oh, he needs to be a man of God. But what does that look like? How do you know when you've encountered it?
Can we go through like the different like realms? You do a good job at communicating this, like the realm of like. Like when you like somebody, like how long should you stay there? Then there's like, there's interest, there's okay, should I commit here or should I close this door? Okay. Let's kind of go through that.
Okay, I think that the starting place is the interest.
Yeah.
That I think you say it best. I like what I'm hearing. I like what I see.
Yeah.
And I would like to discover
what is behind it. So that's like let's help you guys identify. So there's like this realm, right, of interest. So you see somebody and you're like, oh, I like what I hear, like you're saying, I like what I see.
Yeah.
And I would like to know what's behind there. Like you're not like opening up your heart.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in love. Oh, let me find me a wedding dress. Oh, let me buy a ring. No. Yeah. Well, unless you're led by the Lord and He's telling you that, you just met the person you're going to marry and then you want to go and make steps of faith. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like when you meet somebody, like don't dive like head straight down into something that because I think what happens is TV and, TV shows and Disney and all of these different things that were meant to, talk about these things on through movies, etc., make it looks like this happily ever after diving head in situation, and you really don't know this person.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You could be attracted to a lot of people.
They could be a witch.
And you never know. A lot of people could look like what you think that you're looking for, but until you sat down with the person and really get to know them and find out what it is that makes them tick, what their values and beliefs are, you know nothing. So you can, stay open, but take your time. So I think that's what I would say during interest.
So interest, and then you move into like where you're now the interest that you had is now peaking.
Yeah.
So the things that you thought about them have now been confirmed through an exchange of information, through contact. So that means that there's a form of